Hi again, it's Jenny on day 8 of my 30-day reboot with Joe. Two things have been motivating me today to keep on going. The first was that I stepped on the scale and another pound lost. Yay! I hope I never find it again. The second thing was I went into the bathroom medicine cabinet and saw all of this stuff. So this is kind of my show and tell today, or my personal war on drugs. All of this began when I was 15 and got into a rather serious horseback riding accident where I was thrown from a horse and landed in gravel, which embedded itself into my body. So obviously we were very concerned with dealing with the external wounds rather than thinking about what could have happened with my back and different things. So as time went on, I developed greater and greater issues with my spine, and later resulting in several trips to the hospital for drugs like these, and eventually, and very happily, ending in surgery. And I say happily because I had been in a walker for 3 years, thankfully not, for 3 months, had a lot of pain for 3 years, 3 months in a walker, just pushing myself along with one good leg until I finally was able to see a surgeon who got me walking again. And 2 days later, I walked out of the hospital, a new person, pretty much. So that was the back issue. And a couple of years after the horseback riding accident, I was having extreme pain every month and was diagnosed with a condition called endometriosis. Now, this didn't come without a huge struggle. I ended up in 26, I don't know why I counted them, 26 different hospitals, clinics, walk-in clinics, doctors' offices, every place that they would possibly treat pain, I was there. And finally, after exploratory surgery, was diagnosed with endometriosis, which is the implantation of uterine cells on the organs that are not the uterus, such as the ovaries, etc. It causes extreme pain every month. So for 4 or 5 days, I would be in such agony. I would either have to take Tylenol 3 with codeine or something the doctors recommended called naproxen. Take with food, do not consume alcohol, may cause drowsiness. All of those, very good tips. This is more of an more anti-inflammatory family, I guess. A little bit of muscle relaxant effect to it as well. Did not help with the pain. So I found myself all through my college years struggling with this, and I do remember passing out a couple of times, even just from the sheer, exhaustion, the dizziness, everything caused from so many drugs. So my quest for answers with that disease continued for many, many years. And 4 or 5 surgeries later, I found myself in the office of a leading OBGYN in Toronto. And he put me under the knife once more and said, let's try to clear this up. We'll cauterize or burn off some of the disease. And hopefully this will take an hour and a half and you'll be set. Now, this was after taking also several cycles of the Minovril 21s, birth control pills that doctors would recommend or prescribe to regulate things and hoping, that pain would subside. And with a busy schedule, I would take these and try to coordinate them so that when I had a concert coming up, I wouldn't be having the pain. So I was kind of manipulating the system a little bit, but I was doing whatever I could to continue to function at a normal or 80% normal rate of health. So it was a lot of drugs. It was a lot of frustration. So when I was finally on this operating table, I was thinking, this is a good thing. This doctor knows exactly what he's doing. And he certainly did. He got in there, and what was supposed to be an hour and a half surgery turned into 4 hours. When he finally stitched me up and talked to me after the surgery, he said, I have never seen such an extreme case of endometriosis, and there is only one thing you can do. And I really thought he was going to say, clean it all out, just completely remove all of those organs in a hysterectomy. But that's not what he said. He said, you can starve the disease out of your body. And I thought, really? Starve the disease? How? And he said, well, there is a form of cooking called macrobiotics. that will help you. And his wife apparently had experienced the same thing. So I followed every lead. I went to the chef that he recommended and learned a whole new way of cooking and changing my diet and lifestyle, and started to do meditation, qigong. And for the first 2 months, I experienced tremendous weight loss. 30 pounds of excess weight came off, and I felt terrific. And I felt like I could start a new life. So I did. I started to travel and sing around the world and had many wonderful adventures all over. And with that, though, came many wonderful foods that were certainly not macrobiotic. So my eating habits deteriorated, like my language skills here, once more. And I found myself putting the weight back on. It would just be 5 pounds here and 5 pounds there, but it's amazing how quickly those pounds multiply. So I found myself last year just confronting the issue of, the weight gain, and also my health not doing very well when it came to the endometriosis. So what had gone from, starting off with macrobiotics and meditation had now become dependency on these right here. This is just ibuprofen, 400 milligrams, but I was taking it in such high doses and such copious amounts that I would go through probably the equivalent of all of this within a year. Now, anyone that knows anything about ibuprofen knows that it's hard on the stomach. And so I would end up having to eat large amounts of food, especially bread, to cushion the effects of all of this ibuprofen. You know what bread does to the body when you eat it in that, large amounts. So for 4 or 5 days of the month, I would be dosing myself with these pills, taking them with food every 3 to 4 hours. And that started to add up. So last year, I realized I needed to confront this problem and started to do more research. And doctors would say to me, it's amazing your stomach doesn't have holes in it after taking all this, but I guess cushioning it with a lot of food helped. That was the upside, but the downside was the weight gain. So I realized this is not a healthy thing to stay on long term or any longer than I absolutely have to. So the quest is to starve the disease out. Yes, definitely. And that's, I'm starving my body of chemicals and of preservatives and of anything artificial. And I'm only putting micronutrients, not macro, micronutrients into it right now. And for the next, for 30 days in total, that will be what's happening. And we'll see the effects when I have to take this stuff again. So along with the ibuprofen is also a vast array of other things. A puffer for a chronic whooping cough, something that I've been getting every year for the past 3 years. Such extreme coughing that I will put my back out just by all the coughing. And so that's for the cough. This is for chronic sinus infections, really, Nasonex. This is for chronic ear infections, so a lot going on in the sinus area. Cyclobenzaprine for re-injuring the back. After the surgery, I was good for several years, and then last year, just happened to lift something too heavy again and put it out. So I'm sitting here with an ice pack on my back, sitting here with cyclobenzaprine in my hand because this is a strong painkiller that helps the back pain. And when I realized that this was going to be a long process of finding an answer for the back herniated disc, I agreed to go on Lyrica, which is a very strong drug. It's a nerve blocker. People take it for diabetes pain, for seizures, for fibromyalgia, or for back injuries involving the nerves. So this is Lyrica pregabalin is the generic term for it. May cause drowsiness or dizziness. It certainly does. What I didn't realize when I started taking it is that it will cause weight gain 9 times out of 10. I've been reading so many people's testimonials of this stuff, which is maybe a little scary. And I realized that I had become one of those statistics. I started taking this, and then a month later realized I had gained 15 pounds. And pretty much around the middle, And people say that it's like you just stepped into a rubber tire that doesn't want to leave. And with the juicing, I have lost that weight and continue to lose. But what happens when I finish the juicing and start to eat some more regular food again, and I'm still taking this, the weight is probably going to come back, or at least try to come back, and this could be a long struggle. It's bad enough to be in pain. It's even worse to have to deal with weight gain from the medication you're taking for the pain. So I have an appointment set up to look for an alternative for this. If anyone knows of an alternative, I have researched a few, but I'm definitely going to get off of this stuff. So that's it. My war on drugs, my quest for a drug-free lifestyle is on its way. Day 8, pushing on to day 9. I'm almost a third of the way through the 30-day cleanse. I'm definitely considering, depending on the effects of this, considering pushing on to 60 days. And I know it's extreme, but as you can see, this is all pretty extreme as well. And desperate times do call for desperate measures. So that's it. That's my story of drugs. And I will see you all tomorrow on day 9, and hopefully can report some more weight loss and more restful sleep, more renewed energy, and one step closer to being rid of this stuff here. I'll see you later.